Alice's Adventures in Wonderland by Lewis Carroll. Bored while sitting by her sister, young Alice closes her eyes and begins a very strange dream. Her adventure begins when she sees a white rabbit in a suit, frantically looking at his pocket watch. The girl, driven by curiosity, follows him straight down a large rabbit hole and falls into a long, dark tunnel. At the bottom, Alice finds a world of locked doors, shrinking drinks, and growing cakes, causing her size to change wildly. Upset and confused, she cries so much that the tears flood the hallway, making a huge pool of tears. She swims with various strange creatures, including a mouse and a dodo, who organize a crazy, meaningless Caucus race. Later, the white rabbit thinks Alice is his maid and sends the bewildered girl into his house to fetch his things. She eats another cake and swells to an enormous size, getting stuck, with her arm and leg poking out of the windows. The rabbit and other animals try hard to remove her, throwing small stones, which magically turn into tiny cakes. The heroine finally shrinks again and wanders into a mushroom patch, where Alice meets a talking caterpillar smoking a hookah. The caterpillar gives her confusing advice about who she is and points out that the mushroom can change her size. She eats from the mushroom, successfully controlling her size for the first time, and continues her journey. Alice soon arrives at a house where she encounters a grinning, disappearing Cheshire Cat sitting on a tree branch. The cat directs her toward the Mad Hatter and the March Hare, who are constantly having a silly tea party. The traveler approaches the tea party, ready to meet the most illogical creatures in all of Wonderland. Alice joins the Mad Hatter, the March Hare, and the sleepy Dormouse at their never-ending, silly tea party. She puts up with their strange riddles, insults, and illogical behavior, finally leaving in frustration. She then enters a magnificent garden where she finds playing cards painting white roses red to please the queen. Alice is introduced to the fierce and terrifying Queen of Hearts, who constantly screams the order, "Off with his head!" She plays in the queen's absurd game of croquet, where hedgehogs are balls and flamingos are mallets. After the game, she is led away by the friendly griffin to meet the crying mock turtle. The mock turtle tells Alice a silly long story about his time in school and his strange lessons. The two creatures then perform the lobster quadrille, a chaotic and silly dance on the shore. The queen's messenger arrives to call the girl to court for the grand trial of the Knave of Hearts. Alice is taken to the courtroom, where the King of Hearts runs the show, and the knave is accused of stealing tarts. The trial is completely silly. The Mad Hatter and the cook give confusing and useless information. She is called as the final witness, but she is getting tired of the entire illogical dream. As Alice waits, she realizes she is growing fast, stretching up toward the courtroom ceiling. The queen commands the growing figure to leave, but she strongly refuses, calling the queen's logic pure nonsense. Very angry, the Queen of Hearts screams her final, hysterical order, "Off with her head!" The entire deck of cards swarms into the air and attacks Alice, raining down in a frenzy of color and chaos. She bats them away, the entire dream world dissolving around her in a flash of noise and panic. The dreamer is violently pulled away from the fantasy, waking up to reality with a start. Alice finds herself back beside her sister, who gently asks her to describe her strange, bright dream. The young storyteller tells her all about the mad tea party, the croquet game, and the silly people she met. The main ideas are the absurdity of the adult world and a child's struggle to find out who she is. The novel's lasting power is its way of mixing wild imagination with deep, thoughtful ideas thanks to Alice's journey. Lewis Carroll shows that even in the silliest moments, her good sense and curiosity stay strong. Alice's sister reflects on the tale, thinking of the joy her sibling will bring to others by sharing her stories one day. The final lesson is that sometimes the best escape is simply letting your mind wander down the rabbit hole. The final image is the empty riverbank, reminding us that imagination, like a dream, will always be there to revisit. Did you like this story? Let us know. Hit that like button, drop a comment below, and be sure to subscribe to Storytime Illustrated so you never miss a classic. Want more epic tales? Click on either video on screen now for your next illustrated story.